Here we go, setting up the live stream, setting up the live streams. All right, let's get it going. Wonderful. Looks like we are live on live stream. All right, let's get it going. And we will share it across the Discord space. Looks like we are live. Go like that and like that. And like, bam. And bang. Okay, folks, let's hop in. I'm just getting out all of the announcements on Discord and Twitter and all that fun stuff. And then we will be good to go. How do we live? 7. Fantastic. All right, everybody. We are live with the town hall number 17. We're doing quite a lot of these at this point. And I think we're having a lot of fun with them. They're getting better each time. We're getting more information that we can share with you that is more and more exciting each time we hold one of these. And like, let's get our dandy old slideshow up here. And we'll go like that. Put this over there. And we will close that page. Fantastic. All right, everybody. Let's dive on into it. I'm gonna start sharing my screen and we can dive into the whole presentation and have some fun with it all. And I think I have some cool things to show today. If you've been paying attention to the PlayerMint Discord channel or Twitter, you can kind of see a lot of the updates that we've been posting and what we've been kind of got going on. But we're going to kind of sum it up all here. I'll provide a little bit more information and context. You can learn a little bit more about the exciting things going on in PlayerMint land. And yeah, other than that, I'm just going to queue something up for a little bit of a demo that's going to occur later on in the presentation. Just make sure that that's ready for you all so you don't have to wait for me to get it all loaded. Awesome. Here we go, everybody. And present. Awesome. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the PlayerMint Town Hall number 17. My name is Aidan Rankin-Williams, and I'm the Chief Experience Officer of PlayerMint. I've been a gamer. I kind of like to give these little intros every time. So if you're clicking in on this video, you know who I am and you know who the presenter is. And so for me, I've been a gamer since I was a kid back in the day with PlayStation 2s and all that fun stuff. Star Wars Battlefront and Dragon Ball Z, Budokai Tenkaichi, all that fun stuff. Entered the crypto space back in 2017, had a lot of fun with it, and really developed a lot of education in kind of the core principles of blockchain. It was definitely a very different educational space back in the day in terms of what was going on and what people were learning about and all that fun stuff. Founded PlayerMint with Grant back in 2018 because we just had an interest in gaming and crypto, and it went from a side project to the main project to the absolute main project. And now we're kind of on the road, and we're actually going to be able to deliver a product that people can use and earn crypto through playing video games and have a good time utilizing. But hopping into what we're going to be going over today, on the agenda side of things, we're going to be really jumping into some of the smart contract development stuff that's been going on, Overwolf API and playtesting. So that's going to be some stuff that is really going to include the user input side of things. What we're going to do with Fund8, we're definitely going to participate in Project Catalyst Fund8 this time around. Other than that, I have some work on the Litepaper 2.0, a little bit of an update for you folks there. Other than that, Duo Game Night is something that's going to be happening next Wednesday, and we'd love to have everybody watching this join in on that. It'll be a fun way to laugh, joke, and earn a little bit of crypto and have a good old time. And then finally, as always, we'll finish up with some CC beta demo stuff and something to do with the mesh port mod, which is a really cool mod that allows you to, well, we'll get there. We'll get there. You'll see what I'm talking about later on. So hopping into the actual presentation on the smart contract development side of things, if you've paid attention to our Twitter and Discord, you would have known that we've actually deployed all 6 of our smart contracts, and I'll go over them today. We've deployed all 6 of them on the testnet of Cardano, and they've actually been deployed properly and have operated as intended. So they actually work. They do what they're supposed to do, which is incredible and to be expected when you have a great group like MLabs developing them. But yeah, so in terms of what the 6 smart contracts that were deployed, most of them are pretty standard in regards to you've already probably interacted with them on things like JPG Store with an NFT marketplace. But the one that's more unique to us is called Add PMX, and that's basically our adding PMX. So taking the PMX that is going to be distributed to gamers based off of their gameplay performance and adding PMX to each person's wallet in a claim-based style. So basically saying, hey, this user that is connected to this wallet had this level of gameplay performance, therefore they deserve X amount of PMX, and then allowing them to add that PMX to their wallet via a claim function where they provide the ADA necessary to cover the min UTXO costs and the transaction fees. Then, of course, we have mint NFT. That's a pretty standard one. You just have a smart contract that can interact with the blockchain and mint a new NFT based off of your uploaded files and your name and of the NFT and all that fun stuff. Other than that, we of course have the listing of the NFT. So the actual like, hey, I want to put the NFT on the marketplace through the list NFT function. That's a ton of fun. It's how you're going to sell your NFTs. And then, of course, change price. So once you actually have an NFT inside that smart contract that's set for a specific price, we, of course, need another way for those users to, if they want that NFT to stay listed, that they can change the price. So instead of having to, for example, list an NFT and then unlist it and then relist it under a new price, you can just change price. It makes it a little bit better of a user experience. Yeah, those ones are pretty self-explanatory. Buy NFT, another pretty self-explanatory one where you can actually go through the power of, hey, there's an NFT sitting in a smart contract, and I can put in PMX into that smart contract as well, and then I can take away that NFT, and that the end user selling it can get that PMX. So having that kind of fun escrow style system. Other than that, we of course have the remove from sale. So if you as a user don't really want to sell your NFT, say you bought it originally, you're going to flip it, and then you're like, oh wow, this is a really exciting NFT. I kind of want to keep it around in my wallet and have fun with it. Of course, you can use the unlist NFT function, and that's going to be real easy. Other than that, that's kind of the smart contract deployment side of things. So all of those have been fully developed and tested on chain. They're all operating as intended, which is great. Basically just means we need to wrap up the back end code base and the front end code base. And other than that, the blockchain components are all there. Of course, the menace right now is the state of the PAB or the PAB alternatives that take all of the interactions that you're going to be conducting on our website, like clicking those buttons that I was showing you in the past slides, and how those are actually, those inputs are then put onto the blockchain and turned into outputs in a smart contract. So we're chatting with M Labs about all that, making sure that we can hit our marks and understand exactly when the deployment process can begin and the founder launch can occur. On the Fortnite skill modeling. So this is basically on that add PMX smart contract. If someone what is the input? So for example, with that add PMX smart contract, we're taking an input of user gameplay performance, and then we're pulling it through that smart contract and saying, okay, based off of the input of gameplay performance, the user is going to be determined to earn this much PMX. And so we're using a really great open Overwolf system that provides API services to Fortnite and whatnot. And so originally we wanted to go with the hype model, and this was Fortnite's model for arena competitive based gameplay performance. So we thought, hey, we might as well utilize the models that are currently being created by Epic Games. So we're supporting and incentivizing the functions and gameplay performance that Epic Games is already encouraging. Unfortunately, the Overwolf API does not support hype points. However, it does support very, very close to the hype point model, where we're just going to recreate it. So this is the hype model right here, where you can basically see that the major ones are victory royale. So that's like you actually winning the game, winning a match in the game, and then reaching top 2, top 3, top 4, top 5. So like your rank in that individual game, and then your eliminations in each game. And then at the top, of course, you might see the bus fare. That's basically just a mechanism so that as people progress in the competitive mode in Fortnite, that they actually have some sort of way to regress and to actually lose points and derank, so that you can't just constantly scale up in the leaderboard. And so what we can basically do is we can look at and we can say, hey, we can understand their rank. And what is rank? I mean, ultimately, when you look at Victory Royale, that basically means that you had a rank of 1, right? And all the other ranks are, of course, already in there. And then elimination. So both rank and elimination is supported by Overwolf. So I'm looking through all the API documentation right now. And so as you can see here, we have kill, which is essentially Overwolf's documentation of the eliminations, right? As you can see here, we can pull info on the total number of kills in a match. So you as the Fortnite player, how many kills did you get each match? How many matches did you play? And then what were the rank in each one of those matches, right? So what we can do there is have a lot of fun with the, we can essentially recreate the whole hype model without actually, unfortunately, being able to pull the hype model directly just through the Overwolf API system. So it works out great. We'll be able to create a similar point model system and all that fun stuff. And now the question is what is that point model system going to be called? So what are the points that we're going to attribute? Because of course, we can't give 10 points to people that rank 50 and 10 points to people that rank, second. Like those aren't worth the same amount. So we're going to have points that are attributed to each one of those users. And then what's great is that when we display those on our leaderboard, then we can base it off of our own point system. And of course, we don't want to just copy Fortnite because they called their point system hype. But what are we going to call the PlayerMint point system? And of course, we can't call it PMX because that's the token. So what do we want to call it? That's kind of part of the brainstorm creative process. And I'd be really interested to hear people's thoughts on that. So maybe I'll do a founder poll or maybe just a general poll on what people are thinking. I'll come up with a few ideas on how to essentially determine what our point system could be called. I have a few ideas, but nothing really sticks. None of them are super, super exciting. But we could even just call it, we could go the easy route and just call it XP. How much XP did you earn in Epic? And that determines how much PMX you earned. I think that's probably going to be the easiest, most straightforward way. But is there anything that we can do that's a little bit more branded, a little bit more fun? So we'll play around with it and whatnot and have a good time of that. Yeah. Hopping on to the next one on the Fund8 proposal. So for Project Catalyst, which is this beautiful, beautiful crowdfunding platform on the Cardano blockchain that is essentially the early stages of Voltaire, the on-chain governance. And there's a few challenges in which you can submit proposals to. One of them, PlayerMint, actually helped write. So myself and Felix Weber, who's big in the Project Catalyst system, and then Marcin of AdaQuest all came together back in Fund6. Yeah, Fund6. Or no, I think it was Fund 5 even. In Fund 5 or Fund 6, I'm getting a little bit lost with it. But we submitted a proposal to the challenge setting it was Fund 5 called Gamers Unchained. And that was basically, let's create a challenge that originally had $250,000 in it, specifically to gamers out there. And then in Fund 6, it was deployed with $250,000. And then in Fund 6, Felix resubmitted the proposal. We got $500,000 in Fund 7, and now it's Fund 8. And so for Fund 8, what we were thinking is let's apply to the proposal that we helped create this back in the day. Now it has $500,000 in it, and we're gonna have a bit of fun with it. And we're kind of figuring out what's the best mechanism in which we can submit a proposal to this fund or this challenge and have a good time with it. Other than that, we were also thinking that we could fit rather well in the new member onboarding. A big thing of what we're trying to do is bring, Cardano to the gaming audience and bring crypto to the gamer as opposed to try to bring the gamer to crypto. So that could work well in terms of with some of the more outreach stuff that we're doing. We have some fun ideas as to how we can pull those new users in. So it's very possible that maybe we could submit a proposal to there regarding working with esports organizations and bringing those folks into crypto and having a fun time with it. Other than that, dApps and integrations, of course, make sense because we're building out a dApp on Cardano. It's a little bit more generalized. It's not as niche as gaming. So it might make more sense for us to just focus on the Gamers Unchained challenge and kind of go from there. But I think it fits. So if we're building something that's a little bit more general purpose, we can go the dApps and integrations route, or there is the open source dev ecosystem and standard dev ecosystem challenges. So we might think, we were speaking with Duo yesterday, and there's a few ideas that were kind of floating around proposals that we could collaborate with on, and we're thinking that on the open source dev ecosystem side, it'd be pretty cool to create a different. We'll see what we can come up with, but some different token distribution mechanisms that could essentially just be made open source, so that it's really easy for gaming based projects to distribute out tokens to their player bases and whatnot. Essentially, it kind of looks something similar to the open sourcing of the Add PMX smart contract, which is what we want to do long term with all of our smart contracts and code bases, go fully open source. But we got to make sure everything's cleaned up before we publish the source code, because I've seen numerous examples of people that look through open source documentation and they're able to find vulnerabilities through that. And of course, we feel really, really good about the code base that we have, but I think we'd want to get an audit completed before making everything open source. We're still figuring that all out. So stay tuned on that regard. Other than that, the Fund8 challenge setting is, of course, something that we're going to be going for because we want the Gamers Unchained proposal to continue to grow. So are we going to do it to the $750,000 tune for Fund8, or should we make it $1 million dedicated only to gaming-based projects on Cardano? We're going to be keep on pushing that objective and keep on ensuring that the Gamers Unchained challenge is something that is consistent, just like dApps and integrations, just like Dev ecosystem, just like Scale Up Cardano's community hubs, making sure that we're really pushing that so it's constant, and all the gamers out there that are building gaming-based applications or games themselves on Cardano have the constant funding, because it is not cheap to build out a game. It's not cheap to build out PlayerMint itself, and we're just a blockchain layer that lives on top of existing games. So I can't even imagine what the folks at like Flutopia and AdaQuest are needing in order to deploy their incredible games that they're building. Other than that, I want to talk a bit about the Litepaper. We're basically kind of really refined with the Litepaper 2.0 right now. It's really in a good spot. Grant's been putting a lot of time into it. We wanted to originally share it at today's town hall, but in light of some just needing more information from M Labs, because we want this Litepaper to be published and then give people a very accurate idea and description of launch times and having fun with it, and what's going to be available in the more MVP founder launch versus the more mainnet launch that's open to everyone versus what's going to be happening in post-launch stages. And so we're going through that kind of whole process with them right now. Once we get that all outlined, we're going to push this out. We just don't really want to rush the Litepaper 2.0 and shoot it out, and then have people be like, well, it kind of just seems like you just made things a little bit more accurate to what was going on right now. We want to make sure that people read it and they feel really thrilled and excited and can dive into like the PMX modeling formula. So for example, one thing we want to include in there is the PMX point system that we're going to be pulling from Overwolf. So what does that XP system look like? What does the point system look like? What actions are we valuing most inside of Fortnite? And then once you've had all those points, how is that then thrown through an equation that then determines how much PMX each user gets? So we want to provide that all in the Litepaper so that you all can really dive into it, dissect it and give us your input and let us know if we need to change anything. And then of course, as we dive into the play testing, we can actually test out that XP system and how it's run through the distribution model. So we'll have a lot of fun with that, and that'll be all included in the Litepaper where we get to see the documentation. Might make a lot of sense to kind of publish that with play testing, because then you have a Litepaper that's kind of like your documentation as to what you're playing around with, and then in the play testing you'll actually be able to share your Epic Games name, and then we'll get to run that through the XP and PMX distribution mechanism to just see how things work. I mean, PMX isn't going to be coming out on the other side into your wallets, but we'll get to see how much PMX you would have earned if this was in a mainnet environment. Other than that, we're kind of wrapping up here. Game night is happening. We're doing a lot of fun stuff with Duo as of late, which is kind of imagine Cards Against Humanity meets Play to Earn. It's kind of what Duo is going for. And we're having a game night with them on Wednesday, March 2nd at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And I believe that is, I want to say 1 a.m. UTC on March 3rd. There's a little bit of a difference on the dates because of the UTCs, the time changes there, but have a lot of fun. Come earn crypto, come have a lot of laughs. There's some good humor. It's basically a game around humor, and the best bits of humor win crypto. I mean, who couldn't love that? We'd love to see you all there. Finally, if any of the folks in the YouTube live chats have any questions or answers, well, I'll have the answers, you'll have the questions, but if you have any questions that you want to ask, please feel free to do so. If there's anything that I stated here today that I did not provide enough clarity or context to, just let me know, and I think it'd be really cool to hear y'all's thoughts. But other than that, per usual, I'm going to do a little bit of CC beta exploration, kind of show off what people have been building as of late. But I'm going to start off with showing some cool mesh port stuff and some of the mods that have been going on. But if there's any questions, just let me know and I'll answer them as I kind of jump into the next section we have here. So let's go like this and pull up the mesh port mod, and I'm going to share my screen again here. And we're going to look at this. So I'm hoping that you folks can see this. Fantastic creation going on right here. Let me make sure it is actually broadcasting to YouTube, so you all are actually seeing what I'm seeing. But what we're looking at right here is a 3D render of one of the builds inside of the CC beta server. So here it is. This is the spawn that was built by JP. I kind of took a rough mesh port of it. We can get a lot more specific and make it a little bit more refined, so you don't see things like these blocks down here. But as we can see, is this is a fully 3D, fully rotatable, fully even enterable. So as we can see here, we have this obsidian doors open, and we can actually look, and we can actually zoom out and get inside of the building, right? And we can actually look inside and see the different things. It can be a little bit funky to move around with the 3D modeling software, but as we can see, like here's the bar, and we can kind of walk in here and check it out and whatnot, and play around with it all and just kind of have fun with it. And this is kind of the whole thing. And so basically all of the buildings in the CC beta server, every single building can be turned into a 3D export like this. One thing you might be noticing is all the gray blocks. That's because some of the textures didn't export properly, or wasn't able to tell the 3D render where to grab the textures from properly. So I'm trying to work that out to make sure that, because the spawn looks a little bit different than this, but we got some of the aspects are kind of coming together. It used to only be these gray blocks, and now we got some actual texture here. And I think this is really cool because you can do things like we can even simulate a time lapse where this where the sun is in the overhead and whatnot, and having fun with it all. And so I think one thing that we can really do with this type of stuff is I mean, I think we've all used Pool PM. We've all used 3D asset viewers, and I think Equine Horses did a great job of it, where one of the most interesting experiences where I could describe NFTs to my friends was I could say, hey, I have a pet horse. And they'd say, what do you mean you have a pet horse? And then I could open up Pool PM and use augmented reality to display my pet horse in my house. And show, hey, I have this house, or I have this horse in the house, and they're like, that's an NFT. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be able to race this and have fun with it all. So I'm thinking that we can do a similar thing with these. We could definitely, once we get all the textures figured out, we can mint them as NFTs and have them as prizes, maybe for actions inside of CC beta. We had some fun conversations in yesterday's AMA about creating a gladiator arena, and who knows, maybe we would have people come in and they could wager their 3D mesh ports of their builds and whatnot, and the gladiator arena, and have fun stuff with that. So we're figuring out kind of the more utility elements behind this. But if people think that it would just be cool enough to just have this in your wallet, and maybe we could set up a little store where people could like mint these in-game these CC beta assets into their wallet and kind of collect them and have fun with them. I think that'd be cool, but I think it'd be a little bit more exciting if we went a little bit deeper down the utility rabbit hole and figured out how we could make these a little bit more valuable than just having a cool 3D render of something that you built in CC beta in your wallet. Yeah, we can start with that. Yeah, so that's kind of what's kind of going on in the CC beta world, is I'm working on all this mesh port stuff. In the actual server, which I can start to queue up, that's been something that's been really, really cool to see. Cornelius, Alyssa and Trevor, Hysteria, JP, of course, and some other folks have been building in there. And let's see if we can get this thing going really, really quickly before we close out the whole experience for today. I'm just bringing up the applications in order to make this all function as intended. Might be a little choppy because of all the things that I have running on my computer right now, and we'll see how much my laptop can handle here. There we go. Fantastic. Yeah, and feel free. I haven't seen any questions in the YouTube yet, but if you all have anything you want to ask, feel free to do so. Get rid of that, and we'll hop right on in. Awesome. Yeah, the computer's starting to have a little bit of trouble running all the applications and stream to YouTube all at once, but hopefully it'll all come together. Maybe we might be out of luck, folks, but we can hope for the best. Awesome. Well, I'm not sure if Mindtoast is going to load up this time with all the things that I have going on. The application seems to not want to respond. So maybe what we'll do for today is just call it here, have some fun stuff, and keep it rolling. Oh, it looks like Al's DM has a question. What are your plans for marketing? So we actually have a really fun and exciting way that we can market the product and get it out to a lot of different people. And the big one is going to be through an esports org that we're working with. So the founder that we've been working with runs an esports organization. We don't want to announce anything until all the contracts are signed, but this person has an esports, his esports organization has a collective audience of over 4 million Fortnite players. And so we're thinking that with some clever marketing there, some great TikToks from their players posted and all that fun stuff, that with their 4 million audience size of Fortnite players, that we can bring them into the crypto space. A lot of them are already really jazzed and excited about NFTs, so they already kind of understand what's going on. We'll give them a platform to earn crypto via playing the very game that they love, and then also utilize that to go off and purchase the NFTs they're getting a growing interest in. So we have a fun way of kind of marketing and bringing mass levels of attention onto PlayerMint and what we're building. So that's one mechanism that we're jumping into, and it looks actually like we were able to get Mind Test all up and running in the meantime, so we can share it. So yeah, that's in terms of some of the more. I'm just kind of closing out some stuff so my computer can calm down a little bit. So yeah, so we can really run with a lot of that fun stuff and have a good bit of marketing power through all that. So that'll be great to run through. But yeah, right now I'm in the Mind Test server. Like I said, it's going to be a little bit choppy with all the stuff that I have running on my computer. But why don't we take a quick peek around? Things have really been exploding as of late. I'll try not to give you all motion sickness by flying around too quickly. But of course, we've had the spawn has been around for a while. The CNFT News Studio constantly keeps expanding. I hope that people that have been jumping in and have been able to see the Cornelius cornstalk, as well as the ADA symbol that lights up based off of proximity to it. Seems like hysteria is in the server. We also have a really cool tower that's being constructed more and more by, I believe the name is pronounced Pradis Hunter, and that's coming together really nice. That the PH tower is looking really good. I'm loving the color the schemes that are going on there. Beyond that, there is some really spectacular stuff going on behind me. Someone's creating this really cool shrine area. It's kind of looking like something out of the Cardania terraforms is kind of the impression I'm getting. But to be honest, I don't know exactly what this is being built after, but maybe Alyssa and Trevor might have the answer there. JP does. Another person's creating a fun little mushroom exhibit. There's cool stuff going down in here, different layers and whatnot. And who knows, maybe they're creating their own different biomes. Looks like Hysteria is building that. And beyond that, I think I've shown you all a lot of what's kind of going on in the CC beta world. But people are really kind of coming up with some really fun stuff. And I think Alyssa and Trevor built out, I believe, one of their Cardano bits in the server. And then as you can see, there's also that dead pixel. So that is really kind of what's coming together. Other than that, there is some stuff that is coming together that I don't know exactly where it is, but I've seen in the Discord chat that we have someone is building, JP just built out an incredible pyramid. And so I don't know exactly where the pyramid is, but if we can find it here, that'd be great. Seems like we're running across someone's farm and some cool stuff they've done with the trees. And maybe we can find it here if we just look around enough and let the whole world render in, as I allowed my view distance to be expanded. But we'll see what happens. And I'm just going to check for a little bit more questions. And if not, I think we can close it out here. It was a nice, simple town hall. Fun stuff's going on. We've been kind of reporting everything to everybody as we go. So that's been what's going on in Cardano Craft and PlayerMint and what we're building and all the fun stuff that's going on. Yeah, thank you all so much for showing up, having fun with us, and continuing the building adventure. I think on that note, I'll take one more peek at the YouTube, see if we have any more questions, and if not, we can bring this town hall to a close. Thank you all so much. I really appreciate everyone coming out, showing their support, and engaging with us.